Good morning, good morning, good morning. You amazing human beings. Forgot to turn the mic on. Guys, good morning, welcome. It is Thursday. I am just one happy individual, guys. The copy trade has been, as I mentioned, a dream and a vision for the longest of times. To see you guys profiting, to see you guys having an amazing time is just, it means everything to us, right? Again, as I've explained in the past, we were really fearful that copy trade would potentially make it difficult for individuals to really take trading seriously. And I'm so proud to see that people are even more serious about trading now than ever by seeing the potential and the results of the things we've been doing for the longest of times, right? To see it for themselves. Obviously generating a signal and celebrating ROI and having a good month and buying nice things and being charitable and looking after our families. That's possible when you're doing it. But when you're showing people how it can be done and you're providing a signal and those people aren't necessarily taking the signal, it's hard to believe in the thing that we're so proud of. So the fact that copy trade is helping to change the perspective about this industry and showing the power of what can be done when done right, just an amazing thing. I hope every single one of you right now watching me live are part of our copy trade system. It is just absolutely amazing. It's next level. It's what it's all about. I can see Vanance in the house. I can see Nashil's in the house. I can also see Justin as well as Felicizwe Lindukahile as well in the house. Okay, guys. So that's a quick one. Oh, in addition to that, if you are a copy trade client, please do me a favor this morning. Go into your history and go into the history for this week and just send me a screenshot of your profit or loss for this week, right? At the moment, we're up around about 25%, right? And you can see this if you log into your copy trade area, right? You can see this by logging back in, right? You use the same link that you used to register. You just log in as a client and you'll be able to see the end result as well, somewhere over there, right? So there we go. So example, this particular account is a follower account, meaning we started this account with $100. It is the minimum, amount that we can use to risk manage. Obviously, we suggest clients start from 500 or above. In this particular case, a $100 account just to manage risk as tightly and keep ourselves as accountable as humanly possible. It is extremely difficult to trade with $100. You guys know this. You guys have been there. You've tried this. On $100 accounts, we're up just under 500 Rand for the last 3 days, right? So plus minus, and you can go ahead and click through and you'll be able to see on the actual account itself what you're following, but just up around about 25% for the week. Now, I have sent a summary into the social area, right? So given a copy trade and social update, I provided all the data so far for the week. So you want to go read through that, where you would be if you were copying, where you would be, etc. Now, just to give you some perspective, if you're not a premium plus client, right? If we're talking about 25%, right, for the week, just for this week alone, even on $500, right? If we talk about 25%, we're speaking about well over $125 that copy trade has made you already for the week. And Premium Plus only costs you $30. It's an absolute no-brainer. If you're on $500, you've paid for Premium Plus already just with the profits that we've generated with you on copy trade for the next 6 months. Okay, so it's an absolute no-brainer. I see Quentin Vessel's in the house. Good morning. Dan is in the house. Good morning, you amazing human beings. Okay, so enough about that. What's happening in the world, where we're at from a trade and an opportunity perspective. So really quickly, from a fundamental data point, right, we've got some jobless claims coming in. That'll be at 3:30 this afternoon, right? So 3:30 GMT plus 2, we're going to get the initial jobless claims. I'll speak about the live shows for this afternoon as well as the rest of the week in a second. I've got some personal things happening I'll tell you guys about as well before we wrap up. But in terms of the rest of the world and what's really happening, Disney beat earnings, which I did not see coming, right? Disney has taken some very big knocks, some very big hits to its share price over the coming months in just trying to compete with some of the streaming giants, right? They just weren't getting the type of views, they weren't getting the type of subscriptions they needed to, and Disney beat on its earnings last night. So a little bit of a surprise. S&P obviously fresh record highs. We're still in a bull market. It doesn't matter which way you take it, and that's part and parcel of one of our losses yesterday. We had a NASDAQ trade that didn't go the way we wanted to because we were looking at the short-term potential scalp, but again, ignored the fact that we're in this massive long-term bull market. So we had an amazing day yesterday from a signals and trade perspective. However, the one NASDAQ trade did unfortunately take away some of our gains. Now, it's important to note on copy trade, and I have put this in the disclaimer, or have put it in this morning's message, is that when you look at copy trade, right, we are at the moment copying a static number, 0.01 for every $100, 0.02 for every $100 if you want to take the low risk setting, right? And we've put that online, and you can go set that up if you are a Premium Plus client. However, right, when we look at indices, right, indices are 10x gearing, right? Forex is at 100x gearing. So when we talk about 10x gearing, what do we mean? What we mean is that if you look at Forex, right, when you take one standard lot, right, of, let's say, Euro USD, USD JPY, one standard lot means that for every 1 pip, it's $10, right? A 0.10 is $1, 0.01 is 10 cents US per pip on Forex, because it's 100x geared, right? When we look at indices and TDM's indices, right, they don't have 100x gearing on indices because, again, they want to make the risk management lower and more accessible for more people. A lot of the local brokers who are running these scam shops or these people brokers, they're running 100x gearing on the indices so that people blow their accounts. Small movements, big pip counts, people blow their accounts. When it comes to TDM, that's a 10x gearing. So they've lowered the gearing to make it more accessible, easier to risk manage. So when we open up a standard lot on indices, right, we're not getting $10, we're getting $1, right? If you open up a 0.10, right, that's 10 cents. If you open up a 0.01, that's 1 cent per pip that moves. So when we have 1,000 pips in movement on indices, right, and 100 pip move on Forex, from a pip dollar perspective at the moment, if you open up the same trade, the same size, 1,000 pips will be the same as 100 pips on FX. So that's why usually on indices, we open 10x what we would normally open on Forex. So example, if I open up a 1 lot trade on Forex, right, I would open up a 10 lot trade on indices. Now, at the moment, our copy trade is a static amount. As I mentioned, 0.01 for every $100. It doesn't discriminate between what instrument we're trading. Now, over time, we will fix this. We will obviously gear this a bit differently so that the signals data, meaning if we've up 2,000 pips, you would want to see 2,000 pips as well on your copy trade. Now, we've done this also for a safety perspective, right? Because we want to get through month of February with some great data. We want to see beautiful results. We want to see client testimonials. We want to, really want to make sure that February is a solid month. So we're taking a very conservative approach. So just for anybody who's seeing, 1,000 pips on NASDAQ, as an example, is only translating to 100 pips. If you use the normal conversion of lots to dollars, that is the reason why. It's 10x gearing and not 100x gearing. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense to somebody out there. I can see Brandon's in the house. Brandon, we missed you. Welcome, my dear brother. But other than that, guys, we are absolutely killing it. If you're a copy trade client, I can't stop smiling. I can't get enough of it. It is an absolute game changer. It changes everything in the space at the moment. People are selling bots. People are selling crap, horses, whatever, Instagram, fake Ferraris. They're screwed, right? Because, again, the only way to purely prove, right, that you know what you're doing in this space is A, to provide profitable signals, but not everybody can take that and they can easily BS their way around it. Other way is to host a publicly traded account. Now, in this particular case, that's basically what's happening. Our master account is a publicly traded account that you guys can follow. If we make losses, you make losses, right? There's no way of hiding that. There's no way of hiding your trading skills in this particular manner. So for all those scammers out there, tell them to trade their accounts publicly or provide a copy trade service. Actually don't. They'll blow people's accounts. Let's not go that route. But anyway, I'm super excited about this. So let's get back to what we're actually supposed to be talking about, right? So Disney outperformed, S&P 500 outperformed, great. What does this mean for the markets, and what are some of the trades that we are looking at for today? Now, there was one trade yesterday I really wanted to issue. Markets are moving a bit slow, but I'm going to show you guys this really quickly, right? And the same pattern you're going to see happening across the board in quite a few different markets, right? And I'd like for you guys to see this and spot this, right? So behind me, what we're currently looking at is German 30, right? And German 30 is extremely great at creating these 5, 6, 7 bull candles, right? Again, I'm looking at this in a 1 hour time frame. This is the 1st of February. A stack of bull candles sideways, right? And in most cases, you guys will know this flag formation, right? Where, price creates this flagpole, sort of ranges or trends a little bit and then breaks, right? So a bit of a flag formation, we get this nice little breakdown, right? A similar thing happened yesterday, right? We built market structure up. We're creating this little bit of a flag here, and I was very, very interested yesterday morning after our show to potentially call out a German 30 sell, because that obviously fell around about 1,000 pips, but didn't, right? German 30 is quite famous for doing this in the sense that it builds up some momentum sideways and then collapse, builds up some momentum sideways and collapse. So that is a very normal trend for German 30. We did not catch that yesterday. We're seeing a similar type of development across the board in some other markets, which I think is quite interesting. US 30, otherwise known as the Dow Jones, also created this little bit of a bull momentum here, but we are more into a bit of a pennant type formation here. If you have a look at this market structure that we're getting, we're getting into this little bit of a symmetrical triangle consolidation, buyers and sellers battling it out, lower liquidity, lower volumes at this point, lower volatility. So this market's kind of just fizzling out here. But what it does do is it gives us some really great entries to potentially get long. So all we end up doing here is we extend some of that price action right there. And what we're looking for is price to basically make a break through resistance or support once we've now meandered, right? Because again, we're running out of buyers and sellers. Somebody's going to jump in here and pick up the steam, and it'll be one of these two levels that we're going to potentially look at for a potential break to get long or get short, right? Super important to note there. Now, also to note, we still have some limit orders on gold, right? We should have 6 orders still on gold. That's on the copy trade. I had a question yesterday. Someone asked me, do limit orders also go into copy trade? Absolutely, 100%. Any trade we do, limit orders, trailing stops, everything translates through into copy trade. So we've got some limit orders. Again, we were hoping yesterday that we would get a little bit of a pull down here and we would be able to activate a little bit deeper into this zone, but we didn't get that. We obviously got quite a bit of volatility on NYSE open yesterday, big bull spike on gold, and obviously didn't come back down to potentially take off some of these bottom areas here, but we still have them activated. It's still zones of interest that we obviously still want to pay attention to. So we're looking at orders in this level, and we will also be looking at orders much lower down. So just important to obviously note that that is kind of what we are busy looking at. Some of the setups we're obviously busy with. Giving a quick look at NASDAQ, right? NASDAQ is what caught us out yesterday. Again, on the NAS front, we were looking at a potential rejection that would correlate, with this market area over here. So we were looking at NASDAQ initially failing. There was somebody in the school, the community area, that posted a NAS screenshot and said, hey, this is my setup. Not really giving a direction, but just saying, hey, this is my setup. He had some fair value gaps that he's drawing Fibonacci on. I was asking what was the reason for the fib. You can just draw 50% mark, but regardless, we were looking at NASDAQ, essentially coming in and honoring this diagonal, these lows that were posted here, right? So that retest level there. We're looking at NASDAQ failing to kind of beat that level, right? We were also looking at the potential of NASDAQ failing to, break through this new high, which it obviously did, right? You guys all saw that NASDAQ made that final push and obviously went into stop loss territory. If it didn't, right, we would have had another 10% on the table for that trade. So we would have been up 35% for the day. But NASDAQ obviously made it a little bit troubling for us. Now, NASDAQ, again, posting a very similar market formation. I'll go to a smaller time frame. As what we're seeing on US 30, as what we're seeing on German 30 across the board. Now, the reason why this is important is that when we have a similar type of market formation across the board, we've got similar driving factors that are driving this price action. So what we're going to look for this morning, in addition to any one of them breaking, we're looking for a little bit of that collaboration across pairs to see that the same driving force for this bull move and this consolidation ends up being, the breaking force in either direction, right? So it's going to be important to obviously note any breaking here, and we can obviously use the same rules to get in an entry, a breakout, a retest of a substantial support or resistance zone. So that's going to be pretty important to obviously monitor. So on the industry side, pretty busy day. Gold side, we've got a few opportunities that we're still waiting for to develop and play out. There's a lot of FX type opportunities. We generally don't go through them in the show because there's around about 20 at any one point in time. And at any point in time, 2 or 3 may become matured enough to trade in a day. So the reason we don't cover all of them is because we've got some trades, as an example, from 2 weeks ago that are only coming into maturity now, meaning in a position to execute and or trade. So obviously I don't want to waste an hour or two going through that. For Premium Plus, however, right, we are looking at doing things a little bit differently. Obviously, if you're part of Premium Plus, you are banking on the Premium Plus pips side of things. So again, Premium Plus clients get unlocked pips, more indices, more everything, unlocked pips. Normal clients get only 500 pips, right? If you're in the free area, 500 pips and you are locked out, no more trades that you will receive. But in addition to that, Premium Plus obviously gets the dollars for lunch. I'm looking at changing that up, right? What I'm seeing is that people don't have time to join in the dollars for lunch. And again, if we are already in quite a few live trades, I'm not going to be opening up more trades if we are already exposed, if we have trades running. So I'm trying to see, and I'd love to hear from you guys if you are part of Premium Plus, you know, what other value-added services would you prefer, right? You get a lot of people asking for, you know, more personal time to discuss strategies, to fine-tune, to ask questions, get answers on those questions. And I'd love to know that from you, right? I don't want to cancel dollars for lunch shows because, again, we've got so many things going on. But I'd like to try and find something that you guys can value and benefit on. That would be, you know, good use of my time and not necessarily a waste. We'll be scheduling things and we'll be canceling them. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What would necessarily work better for you as traders? What would give you that additional edge that you may end up needing in the markets? So I have quite a bit going on. Again, if you're not a Premium Plus client, like, I have no idea what you're doing. There's nothing else like it. Our closest competitors, as I mentioned, are $200, $300, $400, and they don't even come close. That's a signal service, right? We're so much more than that. We do so much more. We're profitable, we're consistent, we're transparent. And again, we care about your longevity in the space, right? This is the exact reason why we're with TDM, right? The only true STP broker that I'm aware of in Africa presently, as well as even potentially the rest of the world, right? A lot of guys claim to be STP, but they're hybrids, right? They'll market themselves as STP, but they're hybrids, right? I've seen TDM's liquidity model. These guys are executing to big banks. Our money is safe. It's the right place to be. It's just part of who we are, right? If you see a educator, a signal service provider, a robot broker that's sending you to a B-book, just know that's how they're making their money, right? They want you to blow out so they can have a big payday and do silly things. Anyway, I don't want to get too excited on events. Outside that, guys, we're going to continue to focus on the service. We're going to continue to focus on the signals, on the copy trade. And I'd love to see, you know, a week that we can end out on 50%, right? Again, it's not going to be every day. Please note, it's not going to be every day we're going to make gains. There may be some days where we lose, right? At this case, we're up 25%. So even if we lose 5% a day, so be it. We make another 10, 15% in the next day. So it's a good place to be when you've locked in some good gains, and we're basically trading the market's money at this point, right? Once we get to the point we've made 100% of our money, right? This is where people really start to lose their minds. You can then remove your money and then only trade the market's money, right? It gets crazy, right? Trust me. So outside of that, guys, listen, I appreciate you. As always, much love. I can see there's a couple of comments that have come in. I can see Garwin is back in the house. Good morning, my dear brother. And I can see Claude Jonas is in the house. Guys, every single one of you, and please, if you're a copy trade client, please send me a screenshot of your results. We'll do something special for you. And if not for anything, just to make the devil jealous, just go to your history on your phone, go to that history. I just want to see your P&L, your profits or your losses. Just want to make sure, A, everything is fine, and B, I might use that for bragging rights. Again, we've got quite a few people on copy trade already, and we just want to continue to make the devil jealous and push that out there. So appreciate you. As always, much love. And until I see you guys a little bit later, you know the drill. Be safe, trade safe. Goodbye.